Lovelies, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the biggest manifestation techniques for manifesting massive things in your life. And I mean this, you can use this to manifest the biggest dreams that you've ever had, and it really works. I have done one video on this in the past and the response to it was amazing, but I wanted to make a more clear and concise video for you guys since some of you guys still had questions after that last video. So here we are. We're going to talk about it, how to manifest the biggest things in your life, and I'm also going to add in a little bit of an extra thing at the end to amplify this particular manifestation. So this particular manifestation that we're going to be talking about today is water manifestation, and I promise you this thing works more than ever. I have manifested the biggest things in my life with water manifestation, and I have gotten these things down to a T, like the most specific things. And one of those examples being this particular house. I was so specific with what I wanted. I wanted it to be 2 bedrooms. I wanted it to have an ocean view. I wanted it to be on a particular street. I didn't even think that this particular house even existed on this street. It's a very small street in a very particular city. And I was like, it needs to be brand new, floor to ceiling windows, concrete floors, ocean view, 2 bedrooms for obviously in my budget range. And I wanted it to have like a little Zen garden area, which is like super specific. Like what house has a Zen garden area? But this one, I found it like manifested out of nowhere. So anyway, and I manifested that within like 3 months of doing this water manifestation, which is very quick for me, especially since I was being very particular about what I wanted. So there's just one of the many examples of what I've manifested using water. So here we are. Let's talk about water manifestation. You can use it for anything and everything, and you can use it for even the biggest of things on this planet. So yeah, if you guys are stoked about this video, without further ado, let's hop right into it. So first off, I want to explain to you guys how this works. If you guys already know how this works, of course, you can skip ahead to the how-to part of this video. But if you guys do not know how this works, this is actually very important in understanding how this manifestation method works. And in understanding it, you'll better be able to perform it because you'll know why this is working. And so anytime you're troubleshooting, you'll understand a bit more about how this works, and it'll make a little bit more sense to you guys. So essentially, if you guys have ever heard of Dr. Emoto, he is a really great scientist in my opinion. He did this one experiment where he took water, he put it into different bottles, and this was the same water from the same source, and he put it into different bottles, and then he pasted words, different words, on each of the bottles to see if somehow words affected water in any sort of molecular way. And so what he did is he posted like love, disgust, gratitude, thank you, all sorts of different words. And then he froze the water and looked at the crystalline structure that the water would make. And we know that when water freezes, it makes kind of like snowflake type of shapes and all that sort of jazz. So what he noticed is that the words like love had a particular vibration, thank you had a particular vibration, and it created these beautiful geometric snowflake-like structures and shapes. But then words like disgust or hate didn't even make a beautiful geometric structure whatsoever. And so this went to go and show that words held a particular vibration, and it did actually affect water. And we know that we are made up of mostly water too, right? And so in knowing this, we now know that our words can affect our internal vibration, our internal geometric structure. We know that sound creates geometric shapes and patterns and vibrations, right? And we can actually map that out and see what sound looks like. We know that our internal body, everything is vibration, right? And so since we're made up of mostly water, I kind of thought to myself, this would be a fun experiment to see if I could use water and charge it with a particular vibration and then drink it to change my own vibration. Of course, you don't need water to actually do this, but I like to do ritual because I find it helps me actually really concentrate. But of course, you don't even need water to do this at all since we're made up of mostly water. You could do this just yourself. But I really like utilizing water personally because it makes it more of a daily ritual for me. So we're going to talk about what this manifestation method is and what I sort of kind of thought of based on this. I'm sure many other people have thought of this particular thing as well, but this is one thing that I tried out for myself when I read Dr. Emoto's water experiment, and I have manifested the biggest things thus far since then. And I will say that this manifestation method is the one that I use whenever I really desire a particular thing, because I know in my heart and soul that this is the manifestation method that actually will bring it into my life, and it brings it in sooner than anything I've ever done before. Like scripting is great, all the other things are great, all the other methods work, but this particular one works like no other. And it makes it it amplifies it so much in my opinion. So let's talk about how to do this water manifestation. So first off, you are going to need some sort of vessel for containing your water. I personally like to use glass. You can use whatever that you have. If you do not have glass, you could use whatever that you have, but I personally prefer not to use plastic because I think that plastic, there's multiple different reasons. It's not good for our body. We know it's not good for our body. So it's best not to use plastic. I really prefer and highly recommend using some sort of glass. And I personally like mine to be clear, but if you don't have a clear glass, that's fine. Or if you even want to use a glass that has a particular color for a particular purpose, like if you're trying to manifest love, using a pink bottle, red bottle, something like that, could be beneficial. Try it out, see how it is. But I personally prefer using clear because I like to utilize a lot of different or put in a lot of different intentions into my water, a lot of different manifestations. So pick your bottle, preferably glass, and then you will want to fill this with water. I personally like to use high vibrational water, so I personally like to use alkaline water and ones that are not treated with a bunch of chemicals. So I like to use like natural kind of spring water or something like that. I just personally like to do that. If you only have tap water, of course, it is still going to work. But if you can get a hold of better water, please do so because yes, I find it helps me. I just like to drink that type of water. I don't like to drink tap water. But again, if that's all that you have, go ahead. It'll still work. So anyway, once you have those two things, then you're also going to want to get a pen and a paper. If all you have is your phone, that of course is going to work as well. But pen and paper, in my opinion, just amplifies it better because you're actually, in my opinion, to me, it feels like I'm putting it into the physical world when I'm actually putting it onto paper. And I like to use either like a Sharpie or a black pen because just to me that makes it seem more permanent. But you can use whatever you have. It'll still work no matter what that you use. But I'm just telling you guys what I like to use: pen, paper, usually black ink. So once you have those, what you're going to want to do is you're going to write down everything that you desire to manifest, and you're going to put it in present tense. So this is the same as scripting, right? So if you guys know what scripting is, you're going to do the same sort of practice that you use when you're scripting, and you're going to write down as many things as you desire, whatever that you desire. You can make it as long or as short as you want. I sometimes make mine 3 pages long, or sometimes I just write down 5 different things, but be specific with it. So for example, if you're trying to manifest like a relationship, maybe you're going to want to be specific on what that relationship is like. So you're going to want to be specific maybe on what this person looks like, or what their personality is like, what the relationship feels like, how this person treats you. Because those are all really important things if you're manifesting something like that, right? Or if you're manifesting a home, you're not just going to put, I found my dream home, because that makes it kind of vague, right? Be specific. If you have specifics, be specific. If you don't have specifics yet and you're just looking for your dream home, leaving it at that is fine. But if you can be specific, all the better. So try to be as specific as you can, and you can write down as many things as you want. You can manifest love and a house at the same time with this method. I've personally done all sorts of different combinations of things. But if you want to keep them separate, you can also make different bottles, whatever you feel fits your energy. If you feel more comfortable making 2 separate bottles for like love versus like, career or job, you can totally do that. You can also add them together. I've done both, and it hasn't really ever affected my particular manifestations, but if you feel more comfortable doing it separately, you can totally do that as well. It's whatever that you feel fits you the best. It all still works because it's all just water affecting you at the end of the day. So yes, and then what you do next after you're done writing down all the different things that you desire, make sure that they're written in present tense, so that you can really embody this vibration now. So don't write anything that's going to happen in the future, for example. Write it as if it's happening right now. So I just found my dream home. I now have my dream job, and this is what it's like, and this is how much money I make a month, whatever it is. I'm using really superficial examples right now, but you could use whatever you want, right? So once you're done that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your water that you've put in your bottle, and you're going to hold it, and you're essentially going to charge the water with your intentions. So you look at the very first line that you've written down, and let's say that your first line that you wrote down is like, I have my dream job, for example. So if that's the first thing that you wrote down, you're going to hold your water, and you are going to repeat this manifestation continuously until you feel it click within your body. And what I mean by that is you're going to eventually say it repetitively so much to when you actually feel like your mind feels that manifestation, to where you emotionally feel what it feels like to have that manifestation. So for example, if you're manifesting your dream job, you're going to say, let's use an example of like your dream job is being a writer of a book and you publish your first book, for example. So let's use that as an example. So you're holding your water and you would, for example, repeat, I just published my first book and it was a fantasy love novel and it was amazing, or whatever you're gonna say. You're gonna repeat that until in your body you feel like you're resonating with it. You feel like you can feel it in front of you, right? So that's what I mean by it clicks. Because at first when you say it, it probably feels like, oh wow, I don't have that. You know, you're still immersed in your current reality. So you're going to repeat it until you feel like you're immersed into this new reality while you're holding your water, because that's what's going to charge this water with that energy, because you are going to be emitting that frequency in your energetic field, and it's going to get absorbed by the water essentially. And we know that water holds memory, right? So the water is going to absorb this new frequency, and and it's going to be great. So then once you feel it click and you feel like it's really resonating, then you can move down to the second thing that you wrote down, and then you're going to repeat that one and do the same process until you feel that particular one click within you. And then you'll move down to the next line and so forth until you've gone through all of your different manifestations and you feel like you've charged your water. Okay, so you're going to repeat that until that's done, and then your water is complete. You're going to take a few sips of it to now basically put this new vibration within you. We're made up of mostly water, so you have your water that you've now created, and you're putting that in your body to tell your body that this is our new vibration, and you might feel tingles when you're drinking this. I know that I have a friend who does this manifestation method as well, and she says she feels tingles every time she drinks her water, and I know I feel that too whenever I create these waters. Like, it just feels like a totally different water that I'm drinking. And so then you're going to do that, and you're going to have this bottle, and you're going to drink one sip of it every day until you're done the entire bottle. Because this is what's going to remind your body every day to become this new vibration. So you're putting this new vibration in you every day. Because sometimes when you're scripting, you basically do that and then you forget about it. But sometimes you lose touch of the energy that you're trying to manifest, and you end up being constantly reminded of your current reality, right? So this is a repetitive process that helps your body absorb this new energy. And water holds memory, so you don't actually have to repeat your manifestations at all. Once you do this once, your potion is created, water holds that memory, and now you just need to take one sip of it every day to remind your body to become this new energy. And so you don't need to do anything else. And that's why I find this particular manifestation method more powerful than anything, because scripting, of course, it works, and I've had it work, it totally works, but sometimes you lose that particular energy that you're trying to manifest. And we know that the feeling and your energetic vibration is the most important thing when you are manifesting, because that is what manifests whatever that you're trying to bring into your life, is your energy and your emotion. So sometimes when you script and then you don't think about it again, which is important, it's important to not really dwell on it, because when we desire something so much, that equates to feeling like you lack it. Because when we have desire, that also says it's the vibration that's equal to, I don't have this, that's why I desire it, right? But when we just become the frequency of what we desire, that's when we actually attract it. And so this water makes you actually become the frequency of what you're trying to attract, and you're putting it into your body, and you no longer need to repetitively repeat your affirmations or whatever you've scripted. right? You no longer need to repeat that because the water is essentially your potion that will forever hold that frequency. So you take the sip of it every single day until you're done that water. And I personally prefer using a large enough bottle to where I will have enough water in there that lasts about 2 to 4 weeks. And I usually like to have a screw top on it so that it doesn't get all dusty and moldy over time, you know, or some sort of like cork on it. I usually use a bottle that has a cork that I put into it so that my water doesn't, you know, go super stale or anything like that, or get dust in it and whatever, because I usually like to have this bottle last, again, like I said, between 2 to 4 weeks. And I keep taking sips of it every single day to remind myself of that new vibration. And that really helps my body, my energetic frequency, become that new vibration. And that's what then begins to attract this faster than anything ever. And I've attracted the biggest things that probably would have taken me a lot longer to manifest when using other methods of manifestation, but this one really helps me. It's like a ritual that you can sit down. Again, when you're manifesting, you don't need to utilize anything. You can manifest just with your own energy and your own mind and your thoughts and your beliefs, right? By changing who you are internally, you change your external reality. You don't need anything outside of you to change that, but I personally find that my energy and my mind works really well when doing some sort of ritual around manifestation. And so this is the one that works for me more than ever. And if you look at the sort of science behind it, it kind of makes sense why it works the way that it does. So this is my most powerful manifestation technique for anything. You can use it for anything ever under the sun. So I hope you guys enjoy trying it. I also highly recommend, if you guys can, to do this on a new moon. It does make it a lot more powerful when you do this particular thing following the astrology or following the new moons, because the new moons symbolize and have the energy of a new beginning and a new cycle. Of course, you don't need to do it on a new moon, but it does amplify the energy if you do, and if you leave that water to charge out on the new moon as well, because it just adds in that amplification of that new beginning sort of energy and this new cycle kind of energy. But again, you don't need to do it on a new moon, but it can amplify it if you do. So I highly recommend that. And I hope I explained that well. You do not need to repeat your affirmations into the water every day. Just do it that one time, baby, and then your potion is done. So that is my explanation of water manifestation. Hopefully that made sense. I also want to add into this video one thing that will help make manifestation work better than ever and transform your entire life. And this is something that I've talked about in previous videos, and my friend actually reminded me of it today, because I'm actually pre-filming a bunch of videos right now because I'm about to go on a trip, and I've been like in this hectic, stressed out energy, and my friend was like, yo, you always talk about doing everything with passion. So sit down, get your videos done. Don't be stressed about them. Just do them with passion. Do them because you love doing them. And I was like, yes, I do love making videos. Why am I stressed about it? Like, I have more than enough time in my day, but sometimes when we just have a lot going on and I'm like, I still need to pack, I still need to do this, I leave at 5 a.m. Crazy, it's gonna be crazy, right? So sometimes we can get lost in the stress of it. But one of the most beautiful things, you guys, and how to transform your life into the most beautiful life, and this also helps with manifesting and everything, is to do everything that you do with passion. No matter how mundane it is, no matter what it is on this planet, do everything that you do with passion. For example, if you're showering, I always use the showering example because sometimes it can be like a really mundane task, right? Or even cleaning the house. Let's talk about cleaning the house, then we'll talk about the shower one. I always talk about the shower one. So for example, when you're cleaning the house, it's a mundane task. Nobody wants to do it. You can make it fun though. Turn on your favorite music, have a dance party, and dance around and clean up your house. I do it when I'm like vacuuming, when I'm mopping, when I'm doing my laundry. If I just start dancing while I'm doing it, I end up making that moment this much better than what it would have been if I'm just moping around being like, I'm doing laundry, I'm doing the dishes. It's such a hard task to complete, and it ends up really weighing down on your energy, right? So do everything that you do with passion, even if you only make it that much more passionate. Even if cleaning doesn't necessarily become passionate for you, you can make it this much more fun. And I promise you, with making every little task this much more fun, you get more into alignment by doing this, because now your energy isn't as weighed down. You're getting more on track to what is fun for you. For example, like watching SpongeBob. He makes everything seem fun. When he's going to work, he's having fun. He has a smile on his face all the time. You can either live your life like Squidward, or you can live your life like SpongeBob. Hopefully you guys understand these examples. I know some people that watch my channel might be out of this age range and not understand what I'm talking about, but you know, if you guys are around my age and you've seen SpongeBob, Squidward is this guy who's negative about everything, going to work or like getting annoyed by his neighbors, like SpongeBob and Patrick. He's constantly annoyed by what they're doing, and he's living his life just very annoyed by everything, and everything seems to go wrong for him because he's in that energetic state, so he ends up attracting that. Whereas, you know, SpongeBob, he ends up avoiding disaster constantly because he lives life very optimistically, and he does everything that he does with passion. He's walking to work and he's like, I'm ready, you know, he adds excitement. There's a hop in his step. It's inspiring to watch it because they go through life being excited and making fun from every moment. You know, when SpongeBob's cleaning his house, he's like having fun with it. He makes it into some sort of fun thing. So adding this into your life, adding this sort of energy where no matter what you're doing, making it this much more fun. When I take a shower, I turn on like rainforest, fairy, Celtic fantasy music, and I pretend that I'm a fairy getting like rinsed down by an ancient waterfall, and there's magic all surrounding me, and it's nighttime and there's fireflies everywhere. This is what I imagine in my head when I'm taking a shower, and it makes my experience so much better. Like, even though that's not what's actually happening, it makes me feel energetically so in alignment with what my soul desires, because my soul kind of desires to live in a magical world where, you know, there's just magic everywhere. And so for me, that imagining that scenario really puts me in that mindset, and it makes me feel really good. You know, when I'm cleaning my house, I kind of set intention with it. You know, as I'm cleaning things up, I'm like, I'm cleaning up my energetic area, and I'll play like really inspiring music. I'll get into a really happy dancing mood, or sometimes I get into a Zen mode and I clean with a bunch of Zen energy, and I kind of just, you know, imagine magic around me all the time, and it just makes everything so much more passionate and beautiful and fun, and it makes my world more magical, and it puts me into alignment with what I desire and who I desire to be, and it puts my soul into that. You know, I allow my soul to immerse into that. You know, sometimes when we get sad or angry or depressed, it's because we're out of alignment with what our soul is wanting. And so it's your emotions. Your emotions are your internal guidance system to tell you whether something is in alignment or whether something is out of alignment. So if you're feeling like something is out of alignment, it's telling you that your soul is not, you know, in alignment with what you desire to be. So to get back into alignment, look at what inspires you. If there's a certain, you know, scenario in your mind that inspires you, if there's a particular persona that inspires you, it inspires you because that is what is in alignment with your soul. So if you're watching, you know, a TV show, like, I'm going to use all of my childhood examples. Like, I used to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. To be honest, I still do. That show is amazing. There's so many good, valuable spiritual lessons in that TV show. But certain characters in that show would really inspire me, and they inspired me because my energy, my soul becomes alive by that, because my soul resonates with that. So any sort of magical world, like Lord of the Rings, like I get so inspired by Lord of the Rings, especially by the elves, because there's just this magical quality about them. Or like Harry Potter, I get really inspired by the magic in that world. And so that's because it's in alignment with what my soul is. So that means that you'll be in more alignment once you align to what your soul desires. Once you allow more of that in and let go of the things that are making you feel out of alignment. Like if there's a relationship that's making you feel out of alignment, it's time to let that go. If there's a job that's making you feel out of alignment, it's time to think about ways to transition out of that and more into what you do desire and what your soul is in alignment with. Because you came here in this world, we all came into this world kind of blindly, right? You know, we came out of the womb and we have to figure out who we are And the way that we do that is like we're built in with this internal GPS system, which is your emotions, that tell you whether or not you're in alignment with something or whether or not you're out of alignment with something. And depending on how you grow as a person, you'll notice that your energy begins to guide you in different areas. Where before it was telling you like, take a left turn, like you're inspired by these things right now. You know, as you begin to go down that way, maybe your inspirations are going to change because your soul has evolved, and now you're going to want to go over here. And now you're going to want to go over here. Your soul evolves and it changes, and we are built in with this beautiful system that tells us what is in alignment and what is out of alignment. So it's all about finding that alignment and going after that alignment and creating that alignment for yourself. So there's my extra little tip. Do everything that you do in life with passion, and add in more passion in every aspect of your life, no matter what it is. How can you make it this much more passionate? How can you make it this much more magical for you? Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future. And if so, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.